Hey there. Today I'm going to be seeing if I can fix a problem that I'm seeing with this computer. So you can see here, this is a 3D modeling software online. It's a WebGL based tool to create models for 3D printers. And this computer is supposed to be a bit faster than this, but it's pretty slow when it comes to rotating this 3D model. It's supposed to be buttery smooth. So I'm going to see if I can fix that. The first thing I did actually was try to run a benchmark, and luckily this CAD software, OnShape, has a little check utility online that loads this page and then checks if your browser is compatible with OnShape. It also does a little benchmark to see how your 3D card performs. And as you can see, this little arrow here, this computer is barely making it with like 0.4 million triangles per second and 0.4. This is supposed to be like in the 50 million plus range. So I'm suspecting that there's a driver issue, and that's the reason that I'm suspecting that is because I actually just allowed Windows 10 to install the driver for this laptop for the video chip, and it's got an AMD Radeon HD 7640, which I would expect would do a decent job in 3D rendering, but this is the one that came built in with Windows. So maybe there's some room for it to improve this driver. Alright, so this was pretty straightforward. I went to the AMD drivers and support page, and I just clicked on here on download the Windows 10 driver. I downloaded like a very minimalistic 46 megabyte driver, and now it's trying to see if it finds the hardware. Now, my experience with this sometimes is that it doesn't find the hardware, because when you're dealing with slightly older computers, vendors like to keep their drivers lean. But in this case, it looks like it found something, and it's installing chipset software, and hopefully it'll also install video drivers. So I'm going to let this run and see what happens. Alright, so the first thing it's going to want me to install is the AMD SM Bus driver, which, should help with some performance improvements, but it's not exactly going to help with the video card that much, I think. But I'm going to go through that process and see what happens. Alright, what I downloaded over there didn't actually install the video driver. It just installed the SM Bus driver that I showed you. It's for the chipset. So then I scrolled down a little bit. This was above the fold, so then I did this, and then I saw, okay, I need to install the actual driver by looking for it here. In this case, I first looked at graphics, but then that was only for video cards. And then I went down here and processors with graphics. So then I saw the AMD A series, which is this. And then I saw, okay, AMD 8 series APU for desktops. I looked at this first, and then I realized that my my CPU here is not in it. So I went to the hardware info one, and then I saw that it's the A8 4500M, and none of these have the M. So I looked down a little bit more here, and then I saw, oh, it's for laptops. And let me see here. I went down the list, and here it is. So I'm going to click on that, submit, and hopefully Windows 10 64-bit, that's what I'm running. Oh. Read about software support for legacy product. This has been moved to legacy support model, and no additional driver releases are planned. Okay. That's fine. But this is the last one, Radeon Software Crimson Edition Beta. Which one is better? Let me try this one is 2016, but this one right here is the Catalyst Software Suite. So let me download that and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to install that and see if that does the trick. Alright, now I'm going to try to install the AMD Catalyst software. And it's gonna do, let me do custom in here and see what happens. Custom, this is an old driver. obviously, because it can't even load the website that is supposed to be shown here, but that doesn't matter. As long as it installs the drivers, that's all I care. So let me let this do its thing, and then I'll check back. All right, here's what it's going to install. It's going to install the AMD display driver, the HDMI audio driver, a control center, the QuickStream Technologies, I guess that is for encoding or decoding, and then AMD Gaming Evolved app. I guess this must be what manages some game settings. So let me click next, accept this, and let us do its thing. All right, here we are. It's a moment of truth. I went ahead and restarted the machine. It actually installed a bunch of updates, and now I'm going to redo that check, see if anything changed. So I'm going to go to that check website, and I'm going to go down here. Oh, it still has that GL renderer being used. Maybe that's just doing like software rendering, which is probably why this is failing. Let me see. Still measuring. Oh, it didn't do anything. All right, let me see what I can do here. All right, here's a little bit more of what I was able to find. So I went to the Chrome settings, and I see that it is set up to use hardware acceleration when available. But if I go to the GPU settings, right here, Chrome/GPU, it's telling me that software is being used for WebGL, which explains why the performance is really bad. So what I decided to do is I decided to go back and download the Crimson beta drivers from AMD and see if that changes anything. Okay, check this out. Look at the performance now. I didn't actually have to update the drivers. I found some posts online, and I went to the flags. So if I go to Chrome /flags, they have a setting called override software rendering list, and I put that to enabled, then restarted Chrome, and now I'm getting 62.7 million triangles per second and 54.2 million lines per second. And in the GPU settings, I'm seeing that hardware acceleration is being used. So now I'm going to load one of those models and take a look. All right, moment of truth. Okay, now it's being shown without that black background. And if I rotate it, oh, look at that. That is buttery smooth. Yeah, problem fixed. Now this laptop is actually useful for this purpose. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you ran into this problem before and you give this a try, let me know if it worked for you, and let me know what you were trying to get to work online, and maybe share a link so that I can test it out here as well. But yeah, this is great. Look at that. Super smooth. Another great side effect of changing that flag is that now I can actually play YouTube videos in HD. So this is 1080p. So you can see here is 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second, but I'm dropping a lot of frames. This is without that flag being set. So let me show you now. I'm going to set up the flag. I'm going to exit this. I'm going to go here to experiments again, the flags, and then I'm going to enable the override software rendering list. Hit that, relaunch, and now video decode and encode is hardware accelerated. And if I go back here, I'm going to make sure that this is set up to 1080p, and I'm going to show the stats. And as you can see here, it's no longer dropping frames. It's going very smooth. So you can see here now the video is playing correctly and no more dropped frames. So yeah, those two, ignore those two. That's just happening when the video was first loading, but yeah, that's another great improvement. This laptop now plays HD video from YouTube. 4K though, if I go up to 4K, it does start struggling. So if I go up to, let's say 1440, is 1440 gonna cut it? It is dropping some frames there. So 15, let's see. Okay, it dropped some when it started, but as you can see here, it's actually not dropping anymore once it's actually playing. So it'll do 1440p. Now if I go to 4K, let's see if it actually manages to play 4K. It might also be that I'm pretty far from the Wi-Fi, but okay, this is 4K now. Okay, it does a lot of buffering or something, and it's dropping some frames. Still, you know, the fact that this was barely playing 1080p before, and now with that little check mark in the flags, I can almost play 4K. That's pretty good. So yeah, I hope that helps you. If you ever find yourself with an older laptop that is struggling, but you know that it could do better, because this AMD Vision quad-core CPU with an AMD Radeon on board should be able to do HD video and should be able to do WebGL, as you saw in a high performance. So yeah, let me know if this helps. If you like this kind of stuff, hit the like button and let me know in the comments if you found this useful. Thank you.